It's time for Horsepower, Chrome, and Rust, the greatest automotive podcast in the known world, with Ron Foreman, Brady Wright, and Steve Johan. Let's find out what's going on this week. You think we actually know what's going on, but we don't. We're just making this up. It's Tuesday. It's December 8th. It's 2020. Brady Wright, Ron Foreman, Steve Johan, all hanging out here along with you, and we're very glad that you're here. If you're listening to us on iHeart podcasts or Spotify or Podomatic, we're glad to have you. This is Horsepower, Chrome, and Rust. It is the 165th episode. I can't believe we have done this many of these things. That's 3 years plus. But thank you for liking and following our show and following us on Facebook, because we got a show up there. We're also on, we are on iHeart and Spotify and iTunes. And we're now going to be on MeWe, which is another social platform. We're going to be on Parler. There's a page there in case you're a member there. And very soon we're going to be on Rumble, so stick with that. No matter where you find your podcasts, we are there.
Yes, we are.
This is our first segment, as usual. It's called Back to the Blacktop, and that's where Steve grabs all kinds of cool automotive news from wherever he can find it. Pigeons are showing up on his window with stories, and I can hardly wait to see what the first one is.
Well, we don't have any pigeons yet, and no snow pigeons, that's for sure. Brady, are you seeing any snow over there in Idaho?
You know, not so much.
Right.
There was a little bit of skiff of stuff. We drove up to Rathdrum on Saturday, and I'll tell you about that. There's a little bit of snow up there, but it's in the shadows. So this week they're talking about getting some.
Oh, good.
So we did the Christmas run they had up there?
Yeah, the lighted rat rod parade was
pretty
awesome.
cool.
We'll talk about it. I got a video up on the
I saw the video. It was really cool.
It's good stuff.
Excellent. Well, the first thing up is the demise of the Grand Caravan, minivan, Dodge, and a few others. And
I know.
I mean, it's just like that was the one that set the whole thing.
Started all of it.
Started all. Well, they said no more. And
Yeah.
they've kind of reduced their whole thing down to about 3 vehicles with the Dodge, which is the Challenger, Charger, and the Durango. I mean, that is like their
I mean,
platform.
if you count the Ram, which is still kind
that's
of
what
Dodge,
we're talking about.
But
Yep.
I mean, it's a separate mark now. But yeah, you're right. And I have a soft spot in my heart for the Dodge Caravan because I owned 2 of them. I bought one of the new ones in '84, and then I bought another one in '91. And yeah, they were great cars.
Yes, they were.
What they were.
And weren't they built on the what was the Pacific? What was the platform?
They were all developed off of the K-car chassis.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Unlike my Astro, which is actually a truck chassis, you guys, yours
that
rode
was
lower.
That was the
and
benefit. Flat floor.
Yes.
And front wheel drive.
Yes.
And at the time, that was pretty popular. And they actually had a pretty decent payload. I mean, you could carry a lot of stuff in them.
You could.
But roomy.
Yep. Well, in that vein is the 2021 lineup is that all the engine options are going to have 700 plus horsepower. The 840 Dodge Challenger Demon.
I thought for a minute we were still talking about the Caravan.
No.
So did I. A van 700
I'm there.
Wow.
No.
So they're going to do the Demon's going to be 7.
Yeah.
So what about the Red Eye now? Because that
Well, that's
that was up at 1,000 anyway.
It says the 840 for the Dodge Challenger Demon,
right.
And then the Hellcat is going to come out with 807 horsepower. So they're keeping it right at that level. And I mean, the fact is that's a lot of horsepower. I mean, that's like double the horsepower of anything that came out in the late 60s, early 70s. I mean, literally double the
500
horsepower.
horse was the killer back then.
Oh, yeah.
And most of it was like 4.5, 420.
4.5, 325.
Yeah.
Of course, they're in a 4-door sedan because of the laws then.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Well, not to be outclassed, Ford Aftermarket Company Hennessy is providing truck owners with an option that will boost their Ford F-150 for 2021 from a 400 horsepower up to a 805 horsepower
now we're
addition. So these guys, now we're talking horsepower, crush. Meantime, they're spending all these billions of dollars to get electrified and join the ranks of electrification. So it's like you have these 2 broad spectrums
not going to make it.
Electric and it's all part of the globalist. If you go to the World Economic Forum and you look at their global reset taking forward, they want to kick forward because of the COVID, is electrification in 2030 and automated vehicles because they don't want us to have any freedoms. So we'll see. We'll see. These are the wet dreams of the globalist elites. As anyone knows, automakers have been struggling to cope with the governmental forced medical martial law started in last March. Well, a huge negative impact on the industry, including supply line shortages causing spot factory shutdowns, often without notice. In the latest to feel the globalist mandate is Ford, who promised that their all-new Bronco lineup was to arrive this past summer, has now placed its hopes for the spring of 2021. So the Bronco's not out. It's not coming out anytime soon. And we're not going to hold
that time in R&D. Too.
Yes.
I mean, they spent a lot of time and they pimped it for a while. They did the teases and everything. And now, nope, you can't have it.
No.
I just saw a commercial on it last night.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's in the magazines. It's called over Facebook. I mean,
but they're saying because of supply chains, they're not going to be able to reach what they want to, and so they're going to hold it off. And it's interesting. I've talked to some would-be sponsors of the show, and some of the biggest problems with some of these guys is supply chains. They can't get their product. They can't get things manufactured in time because of all the mandates and stuff. So we will see. Now, more on the globalist front, and the latest news is from Japan, who may become the next country to ban the sale of, get this, internal combustion engines, according to several reports, joining a growing list that includes both United Kingdom and Norway, while other nations such as France, Germany, and China are studying similar restrictions. Such a move would be in line with the environmental pledge made by the new Japanese Prime Minister Yoshida Suga in October.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Let's just say Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister
bought and paid for. Okay, bought and paid for Prime Minister.
There you go.
But anyways, it would have it. But they're setting theirs to be carbon neutral by 2050. So guys, that's
2050.
Yes, that's 30 years.
You know what? That I love that they're taking that particular thing, but that's a long time. Well, they got plenty of time to back out, rethink, go a different direction.
I like the fact that they're saying 2050. I like those numbers because that means they're saying we don't know what the hell's going to happen in the next 5 years, much less 25 years.
We got some bounce rules.
Yes, we do.
I think you said it earlier. Wet dream.
Yes, it is. It's a wet dream. It is. It's a fantasy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ron. Were you going to say something?
Well, you were saying something earlier about the supply lines. There's a lady that I know they had the solar roofs put on, and they put the wrong roofing on her barn, and she's been waiting 6 months for the right material, and it's just all of the solar panels are on the roof, and she's still waiting for the right metal. They're going to have to replace all of her roof.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
the correct metal up there, and all the panels are there, and it's just been really frustrating. She's paying. She got a loan to make the payments on the solar panels.
Right. Yep.
She's making all these payments, but she can't use none of it until they fix the roofing.
There's a lawsuit in the making.
Something's going to happen.
Something. Yeah. She's not. There's no leaks or anything with this. Is there?
There's a few leaks too. Yes.
Sure, yes. Toss some of those in while we're at it.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
Getting her hay wet. She had to move her hay.
Oh man. Well, we're gonna hear lots and lots of stories before this is all over. And speaking of stories, we haven't had a recall notice in quite some time, but South Korean automaker Hyundai has announced it is recalling 129,000 vehicles in the USA to resolve an issue that increases the risk of fire.
Well,
the risk
you don't
of
want
fire.
to repeat the Pinto story, and it's
or a Tesla story or any of these things. Fires.
I was going to say Tesla.
But speaking of Dodge, as we started out with the Plymouth, there is a Hemmings car of the day. Go on there, 1967, all original, 273 V8. 1967 Plymouth Barracuda Fastback. Get this, $14,000 asking price, and it's like cherry, 47,000 miles on it.
Wow.
Yes.
One of my buddies in high school had a 67. He called it.
My aunt and uncle had that.
Nice car. $14,000. That's about right.
Yep.
Wow.
That's for a new car?
Yes. Well, there's our music. We'll be right back with more of the show and a great guest coming up next.
My mind's out of gear, and my heart's in overdrive. I've everything to fear. I ain't never been more alive.
Horsepower Chrome and Rust is back for the first half, the windshield view, and our guest today is Brent with the Gratz and Customs on Facebook group. And welcome, Brent. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, the Brent's official group. It was one of the first ones I found when I got over here. Is the North Idaho Rats and Customs with a K.
Yep.
Facebook group, and you got about 900 members on that thing, don't you?
900 or so followers. Yeah, we've got active members. A couple dozen.
Sure.
That's
well,
great.
That's always how it is, but people pay attention to what's going on. And I guess Ron had a question he wanted to start off with, I think.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Now Ron's sound is down again.
We're having a little bit of technical difficulties.
While Ron fixes his mic again,
yes.
I'm going to ask you a quick one.
Yep.
So when you got this group started, was that when like social media first got going, or did you actually you had the club, you had the group before Facebook, right?
No. So the group was designed when we started the group. It was for, I had guys 100 miles south, I had guys 20 miles north, and nobody was communicating. So the idea was so that we knew what was going on every weekend.
Nice.
Parts for sale, people going on. So we just kind of separated. It was more for a bulletin board than anything.
Yeah, cool. I mean, Ron, jump in whenever you can. So far, we're still not hearing you. We had this issue once before, and we're just, when Ron gets it figured out, we're going to jump him in.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
So tell us kind of, I know the group is sort of all inclusive, at least what I've been seeing since I started following the page. You do runs, you do cruises, there's some charitable stuff, you do parts exchange and, sales of vehicles and stuff. So, walk through kind of what's your vision for the group.
It's a family. We're more of a group of guys. As you could tell from the few that you've seen us, a few times we've been out with us, we are all just a good close group of guys, and we just want to go out and support our community and have a blast with our cars, drive them. Our goal for us, we're not really long mile guys, because we're can't really afford to take the time off work, but we want to drive every month of the year.
Sure.
We don't want nothing to stop us.
Nice.
So.
Ron's back. You got sound now, Ron?
I think it might be the mute thing down at the bottom. It's your mic.
No, he's not muted.
Oh, mine shows red. Well, anyway, so
Ron, maybe your mic is muted. Steve says it shows red.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
How
weird is that?
Zoom sometimes does that. I've been in meetings where I'm thinking I'm talking, and the next thing you know, I'm like, I can't even do anything. It's like, there's a mute button down there, Steve, and it's like, well, it doesn't say mute. It just has the little red circle through the microphone, and I'm like, well, that doesn't mean. Okay, so click it, and then it opens it up. So, universal. So I got a question, Brent. Yeah. So, when did you get into the whole aspect of building rat rods and in that whole world of rat rodding? When did that kind of take on?
So the rat rodding side was probably more closer to 2003, 4-ish, right in that area. I was, I have a 74 Dart I built in high school. I was 14, it was first car. I worked all summer, was able to buy it. We did it. It's a limelight green, kind of a 340 mock car. But I got into the rat rods when everything started getting expensive.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Hey, there we go.
So go ahead, keep talking.
Okay. So I think 03 was the first year I picked up the Old School Rides magazine. Fell in love with a bunch of that cars. I really liked at the time I was 19 years old, starting a family. I could afford that stuff. So we started getting into that one. For the longest time, I built them about 3/4 of the way, and it was time to sell them. Something came up, household, kids, time to sell them. So it's been a while, but I love the look. I like that old school style. I'm not really the vision of the rat rods. I'm more like the old traditional style rat rods. What you would call what I got into was 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
Sure.
So what?
That's more my style. I think everybody has their own style, but that was my style.
So what's the difference between different styles within the rat rod family?
I'm more like the traditional, or the more finished car, but with primer on it, or maybe bare metal spots. A little bit of rust doesn't bother me. Not the guys that are putting everything on there, or just throwing stuff together to have a car.
Okay.
To me,
It's got to be safe.
Yeah, it has to be safe to drive down the road.
Yep.
I have 4 kids that want to ride with me every chance they can, so it's got to be safe for them.
Well, I know that Ron's group, the Rat Bastards, that's one of their kind of hallmarks is, it's not what you buy, it's what you build, but it's also got to be safe before anything else.
I can't say that right now. The car that you saw me in on Saturday, that one was bought that way. I've done a little bit of things that way, but I'm building my car in the garage, so I haven't had a chance to finish it.
Ron, did you have something you wanted to add, some questions you had?
Well, I had some questions, but I kind of got overwhelmed and flabbergasted by my microphone.
Don't worry about that. You're on now.
Anyway, so you mostly into like old school type of cars, like the original, like vintage hot rods?
No, I'm into what I call not really a poor man hot rod, but a garage built hot rod.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so whatever you can build in your garage, I worked in body shops. I built some really nice cars for guys that can afford them. I can't afford them, so that's where I'm at. Everybody's. Go ahead.
It seems like every time I get a car almost done, one of the kids need braces, or a wash machine would go out, or the refrigerator go out, and I have to sell one of my toys to provide for the family. I thank God I had those, and he gave me the talent to build those cars so I'd have them when the family needed them. So I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah, and that's where it was. Something came up, or you get mad at it. Unfortunately, I'm a car guy, so I'm into more. I listen to one of the other ones, and you got a big truck too. I do a lot of 4-wheeling too. So it was, the season came up. I broke my Jeep. I had to fix it. So the car had to go for sale.
One of the guys at work asked me what kind of cars I like: Ford, Chevy, Dodge. What are they like? I said, you know what? I'm a car guy. I like all of them.
Yeah.
I don't have the privilege to like just one. I like them all, and I'll mix them and match them. I have a 350 Chevy and my 31 Model A Ford, and I have a Chrysler rear end. I have a transmission. I have a 62 Nova. It's just on and on. It's just make it work and be safe doing it.
Well, plus you've got a custom roof from a 66 Harley Davidson, as in no roof.
It's a spiderweb roof.
It's a very nice spiderweb roof. It's much more artistic than I could do. I can't help but notice here as we're talking to Brent that behind you on the wall is the logo for the North Idaho Rat Rods and Customs. Looks very good. Clever product.
Pretty cool.
I seen Ron's. I had to sneak mine in too.
Yeah.
I love it.
We were talking about cars. The one that Brent showed up in when we had lunch 3 weeks ago. But you also had one at the
Christmas
the Christmas parade that you said belonged to your mom, and I want to talk about that one a little bit. Okay. We're getting close to a break here, but one of the things that I wanted to make sure we got a chance to talk to Brent about was this Rathdrum lighted car parade. It was actually a fundraiser for the food bank up there. It turned out to be pretty interesting. I wasn't quite sure exactly what to expect when we went up there. My wife and I went up. And because all of my hot rods, Ron knows this, and Steve does too. Both of my cars that I'm building are in storage at my very good friend and brother's place in Gold Bar. But when we get them over here, I'd be driving one of those, but we went in the Mazda because that's what we got. And it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. There were, I think, 47 or so cars. And isn't it true that we got to save this. Last year was that the first year of the run last year?
I don't know. My mom did most of the information on that one, so I just kind of got in on it.
Yeah,
that's what they were saying. I hadn't heard of it before, but I just thought it was one of these 2020 things that they.
Yeah, well, it was pretty cool.
It was awesome.
We got a bunch of video and a bunch of stills up on the Horsepower Chrome and Rust Facebook page. You guys can go and take a look at it, and I'm sure you will once we get this one up on the air. Of course, it's already there. We're also going to share that with the North Idaho page, so you guys can see that as well. We're going to talk more about this when we come back. Ron?
All right, cool. The Windshield View will be right back after this few messages. North Idaho Rats and Customs Group on Horsepower Chrome and Rust.
Yes, we are back in the second half of the Windshield View on Horsepower Chrome and Rust. And let's get back to what we were talking with Brent, and you guys were kind of going into the event that just happened this last weekend. So why don't we talk a little bit more about that? Because you said about 40 cars showed up, and go into that. I want to hear more about the event you guys just had.
Yeah, well, just to set it up, it was a fundraiser for the Rathdrum Food Bank, right, Brent?
Yep.
Yeah, and so essentially, it's so funny. I mean, we're in Idaho, and the cruising regulations over here are a little bit more lax than in Washington and some of the other states.
Yes.
So a lot of people showed up. I talked to one of the women who was helping to kind of move people out once the thing got going. She said 47 cars, may have been more. I don't know. But Brent, give us the rundown on that.
I didn't see how many we were supposed to. It was like 46, 47 is where they said it was. Semi trucks and trailers and UTVs
cool.
and
Very
cool.
cool.
It was really cool. We cruised little over 2.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
There's a couple loops. I mean, in Rathdrum's not that big of a town, so 2.5 hours in Rathdrum is quite a bit of cruising.
You saw every street in Rathdrum.
We saw every street.
Twice.
It was cool because we looped back around and we saw, I got to see some of the floats ourselves.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I want to say it was about 25 degrees out that night.
Oh, it was brisk. We pulled in towards the end, and we found ourselves, I was just following just to kind of get to where I could take some more pictures. But we found ourselves driving past all kinds of kids running into the road picking up candy, which is another thing they don't let you do in Seattle.
Oh, I know.
Throw anything.
Anywhere.
But it was really great. I mean, they were all having a great old time, and everybody. I mean, the kids were just enjoying it, and they all, they waved at us because here we are in our standard Mazda with the flashers on. I'm like, we're part of this, but we're not. Don't worry. Merry Christmas.
We had a great time though. It was fun.
Awesome.
So now
your mom's car was there, right?
Oh,
yes, my mom. Yep, it was my car, my mom's, and then another buddy's.
And what is your mom's car? Because it's on the page.
59 Mercury Monterey.
It's gorgeous.
Ooh,
it was
Monterey's
gorgeous.
are awesome.
buy me a Mercury.
Yeah,
that song.
It was gorgeous. I don't remember which video. Because I shot about 12 of them, and they're all about a minute long. Because I didn't want to have one that was too long to load up, But I think you guys are in the second or third one. I mean, you're right in there.
Yeah, I went down a little bit and found it.
You showed up, and then she was right, or that car was right behind you.
Yep, they were right behind me. Yeah.
But yeah, there was fire trucks, and a couple of them. There was an antique fire truck. There was some guy with a big black bus with a quad on the back. But that guy made me laugh because when he went by, of course, it's all decorated up, and it's black. So you think, well, it's not a school bus? Is it the cop bus? What is this exactly? And then right behind the front door, which was open to people inside, is a great big Glock pistol display decal. Okay, not sure what this is, but it's pretty cool.
It's been for sale on Marketplace for a while, and I keep looking at it. Yeah.
Well, it's got a nice little carrier on the back for the quad.
Nice little toy hauler. Yeah.
So now I want to know. So where did it start? Because I'm geographically challenged, so I don't understand. Where did you start in Coeur d'Alene? Where did you start, and where did you go? And then did you come back? Was it like a big loop, or just did you go to the one town and then just stay in that town?
It was one town. We stayed in one town. We little park, and we went through just housing development after housing development, and just kind of looped through that way.
Yeah, Rathdrum is about 7 miles north of Coeur d'Alene, 11 maybe.
So Coeur d'Alene, well, it's 7 miles north of Post Falls, and I think it's northwest of Coeur d'Alene.
41.
Yes.
If you went across 90, you'd come to 41 before you come to 95. So you turn left or north on 41, and then you go up. I don't know. It's 8 or 9, maybe 10 miles up.
Yeah.
It's not a real big town,
right?
But there's a lot of streets, and the parade looped around. It was a snake.
Was Santa Claus there?
Yes,
of course.
Santa Claus was
all
at
right.
the end.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
So was it like a Christmas parade then? What the whole thing was going on there, or you guys put it on?
No, it was Rathdrum Food Bank put it on, or the city of Rathdrum put it on.
Okay, perfect.
And we just got in on it and went with them.
Was there like a drop box where you could put a donation of dried products or money? Or
I didn't see one, but I can't say that I didn't leave the car very far because it was cold.
Yeah, there were actually at the front when they were staging in a I guess it was a school parking lot.
It's baseball fields.
Okay.
Okay.
So they were staging there, and as you went in, people were saying, "Did you pre-register?" Because you could, and that would have covered. I think it was $5 or something.
$5
I see.
$5 a car, yeah.
And then if you wanted to donate to the food
That's a
bank,
great
you could do
idea.
it there as well. So yeah, it's just easy to do.
Great idea. Absolutely great idea.
Do you happen to know, Brent, how much was raised in total for the food bank?
I don't. We are having our club Christmas party this weekend. We're going to do
Okay.
pass the hat for them, so I can
All
find
right.
out more information later on
Oh,
and let you
cool.
know.
Excellent. Yeah, if you do find out, let me know, and we'll put it up on the page as well, because the videos are getting a lot of notice.
Yeah.
And it's Steve. Did you have a chance to see some of the cars that were in there?
No, I got to get on. Thank you very much. I was supposed
you
to be
got
on
it. It's-
Facebook, so
I saw some of
decorations
them.
are
They're
cool.
really cool. Really
Yeah.
cool.
So many people spend a lot of time on that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they have like a battery operated for the lights, or how do they run the lights on some of those?
I picked up a cheap power inverter, just ran it off the
okay.
battery. I
Yeah.
ran an extension cord into the car and just
Cool.
ran it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
So it doesn't interfere with the regular running of the car or the regular lights of the car?
Nope. We
Well,
just
that's
ran
cool.
the regular headlights, just put the power inverter on the battery, and
Yeah.
they actually worked really good. I had a blow up snowman on the roof of mine.
All right on.
Yeah.
Had him tied down.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Just
Oh.
keep the
Was
snow
there?
over there. Just keep the snow over there.
No, we don't have much yet right now, and I want to
Not
keep
now.
it that way.
Yeah. Well, they were talking about later this week. We'll
Yeah.
see.
well, my question is, so as a club, how long has the club been around, and what are kind of like some of the annual events? Do you just have your local group, like with Ron and the Rat Bastards? They have their group that gathers, but then they've put on different events throughout the year. His is the big infestation is the big one. What about you guys? Do you have like monthly meetups, weekly meetups, and then how many actual events do you guys sponsor?
So actually, we're not an official club until the first of this year.
Oh, you're new.
2021
Okay.
is when we actually start coming dues. We've been just a more of a social group. The last few months, we really worked on shop days, garage days, where we
Okay.
all get together and
Cool.
help somebody get a car, or just go hang out at somebody's garage.
Right on.
With that group, I'm also I'm the president of the North Idaho Classics too, and that's been around since
Right.
1984.
And now that's the group that produces the Coeur d'Alene show. Is it
We
not?
did, yes.
Yeah.
We not no more, but we did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that show, just so you guys know, Coeur d'Alene, is a really well attended big show that happens down at the waterfront. Essentially, it's been 27 years, something like that. Long
We
time.
ran it for 27 years. It did the year or two before we stepped in and took it, and then it's been 3 years since we've been stepped out of it. So
Yeah. Now, and so what's the average attendance to that show? Do you know how many cars you get off the top of your head?
we've had 450
Okay.
on a good year. You
Awesome.
know,
Okay.
unfortunately, the last couple of years we haven't had the best of weather.
Right.
This
That's
year
a
was
big
nice, but
factor.
rain was a big thing. But this
Yeah.
year was nice, but then they had to cancel it for our
Yeah.
current
Well,
situation.
we're
Yep.
definitely used to that over on the west side. I produced the Edmonds Classic show for 5-6 years, and usually we're in the 300, 350 range there. Seafair show, which I did last year, was smaller, but the event itself was gigantic. And there've been several others, that are in that area. But I think the big one is probably the Cruising to Colby. That's
Yeah.
700 cars,
yes,
and then
yeah.
Greenwood is 8 or 850. I mean, it just depends on what it is. Ron's Infestation, you're a couple hundred depending on where you have it.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, to have that many cars over here is pretty good. There's a huge custom and
Yes.
cruising car community over here, bigger than I thought, which is great.
Yeah. When they do a Friday night cruise around downtown Sherman and go
Yeah.
up, and they have 800, 900 cars on
Wow.
Yeah.
that. And then
Awesome.
for the show, we have 350, 450 cars, depending
Very
on
nice.
the gear.
Yeah.
But it's a great time. It's they shut the whole main downtown down,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you up and down the streets, and it is awesome.
And
have
what
to-
month of the year is that?
It's Father's Day weekend every year.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
You have
Yep.
to get a permit for their show, or do you have to
Oh,
buy
well,
permits?
They take care of all that. Yeah.
Who's they?
Is this
was,
Chamber?
It was the Downtown Association. It was North
Okay.
Idaho Classics and Downtown Association that we
Got
were
it.
putting up. Downtown Association is the one that runs it now.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Nice. Well, that's always handy because then that way you got sanitation, you got the cops if you need them. I mean, all that stuff is taken care of.
So
that was the one benefit for doing the Edmonds show is that the city was behind it, so you didn't really have to worry about all the porta potties showed up. All that was good.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I had was, in your neck of the woods, I know that Brady's over there, and when you're looking at that whole corridor in there, I might call it corridor from Spokane all the way to Coeur d'Alene, and then the adjacent townships that are in, I'd say, within 20 miles of that area, you do a lot of pull-ins when you guys, if you, like you said, if you were to have a Friday night get together, hey, you just put out the word on your Facebook page with your group, all of a sudden you're getting people from all over those little towns that are showing up. Am I correct on that?
Yeah. Yes. So I think, where Post Falls is 13 miles from Spokane, Coeur d'Alene's another 7 away. We do Monday night cruises, Tuesday, Wednesday. We don't really have a Thursday, Friday show, but here in Post Falls, we have a Tuesday night cruise in. He gets 75 to 150 cars.
Wow.
This summer he did.
Yep.
When you say he gets, is that like a restaurant or something?
It's a body shop here in town that puts it on.
Okay.
Oh, excellent.
Just
Excellent.
has one. We have another small car club out of I believe they're based out of Rathdrum. They do Paul Bunyan is their little burger stand, and there's one in Coeur d'Alene, and there's one in Rathdrum, and they do Monday nights and Wednesday nights.
I love the fact that you sponsor the small businesses around your community. That's really cool.
We do a lot.
Really admire that very much. That's really cool.
So now what's
Paul Bunyan's got good milkshakes too.
Yeah.
So what's your season over there for gatherings? Because your weather's similar to what it is here in the Puget Sound, but it's a little different. So what are your traditional start time in the spring and all the way through the fall when things pretty much peter off and there's nothing much going on?
So for the most part, our first show is Depot Days over in Wallace, and that's always early May.
Okay.
And that's hit or miss on your weather, but they always have a great turnout. And then we go to, there's a few just little shows past Labor Day, but most of the time Labor Day's their last, big weekend.
Okay.
September.
Yeah.
And then other than that, it's just whatever people get together and hang out and like over here, if people say, hey, we want to go over to XYZ burger joint, then they'll go and grab a burger and hang out at the parking lot and something like that.
Yeah.
Or meet up like somebody's shop or over at somebody's house is how a lot of people have been doing it lately. Just
we've been doing a lot of them here at my parents' house. We put they got a nice drive-through road on the back, so we do a nice car show or cruise there. We go cruise the mountain, the river road, and go into Coeur d'Alene and hang out, kind of an old school style cruise like we did when we were younger.
Very cool.
Yeah, you guys, we've been doing that here too. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's one nice thing about the area is that you're close enough to rural, if I can say it that way, that if you want to go out and do a cruise, you're not too far away. You can go out quite a ways and just cruise the prairie essentially, and still get back in time for dinner if you want to. It's not that far to go. It's sometimes in around the Puget Sound area, you got to drive 40 minutes just to get out of town.
Yeah, you do.
And it's a little different.
With many traffic signs and traffic lights.
Well, for like me, I'm probably 20-25 miles north of where you're at, Brady. I'm up in Athol, Idaho.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of ways to go. So
yeah, but not too far. I mean, that drive isn't that bad. You come in every day to work. By the way, you're working at one of the muffler shops, right?
So my family owns Mufflers Plus here in Post Falls.
There you go. We got to get a plug in there. That's important.
Yeah, 25 years in business. So yeah.
Cool. Well, if I was planning to put mufflers on any of my cars, I might
Brady,
whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Hudson's going to have mufflers on.
Yeah. Georgia probably wants to have a muffler on the Hudson.
Yeah, I know the Hudson's going to. Yep.
Well, hey, we're just about down to it. I do want to make sure you guys know it is the North Idaho Rat Rods and Customs, just like it's up behind Brett's face.
Yep.
That's on Facebook. We're going to publish this, of course, on our page. We'll share it to his page so you guys can see that. And Coeur d'Alene comes up on Father's Day weekend, so we'll have to make sure that we're ready for that one.
And if
Brett,
you guys are warm enough, we're doing New Year's cruise every year.
Hey, nice. Well, all right. We'll be there.
Yeah, we do a New Year's cruise. We did it first time last year, but we're going to plan it every year.
Awesome.
Last year we were able to get down. It was nice enough on New Year's Day. We were able to get down and watch the bald eagles fly in on Lake Coeur d'Alene.
Oh, wow.
So it was awesome.
Well, appreciate it. Well, man, thank you for coming and doing this. We really appreciate it. We'll send you the link as soon as we get it ready to rock and roll.
Very nice to meet you, Brent. Very nice to meet you,
guys.
sir.
Thank you.
Yep, it's nice to have another friend over there in Idaho.
Oh yeah, lots of us.
All right. Well, we are just about here. This is, as we always say, it's the greatest automotive information show on the planet. And this, of course, is Horsepower, Chrome, and Rust. We got somebody special coming up in the next segment. That is going to be one that's...
Sounds like Santa Claus is in there with you.
Santa Claus is here. This is saying we're almost done with the segment. See, that's how I know.
Yeah.
Almost like Jingle Bells.
Jingle bells. But is that your cell phone working there, Brady?
It's my timer. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
it says we're almost done.
Yeah, we're all 10 seconds left to go, and then we're right there. And folks, you get to see us right on here.
See you, Brent. Yeah. See you, Brent.
Brent, thanks so much for coming on. It's been great.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Very cool.
Well, there's our music, and yes, indeed, we are down to the wire, and we've got more coming up with another cool guest. Tell you about something that you want to get involved with on Horsepower, Chrome, and Rust.
Brady, hit it.
Oh, it's me. Hey, usually we do Cars Confidential here, but this week we kind of got a special guest to talk with. I want to welcome back. He's been on the show before. It's Thomas Owens from the Pacific Northwest Custom Coupes and Sedans Group. He's on audio because for some reason the video is not working on his end this particular evening. Thomas, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Brady. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Let me kind of set this up. Thomas gave me a call yesterday because the group is doing a really cool thing. There's some local people in the area that are in need of some kind of help. And Thomas, I'm going to let you kind of set this up so we know what's happening here. What's going on?
So at the end of October, I was on Facebook and got a notification from a member of the Arlington community page. Her son is 10 and battling cancer. He was in the hospital. Wasn't really in the best of his spirits, kind of feeling down. Didn't feel like he even wanted to be in existence. And so he asked simply to have some cards to try to cheer him up. So I put a post out on Facebook, and we did that. Still to this day, he's getting gifts and getting cards and letters in the mail and all that, which is awesome to be the one that set that up. And then Wednesday before Thanksgiving, his mother, Danielle, sent me a picture of his Christmas list. A couple things on it: toys, Legos, hoverboard, warm clothes, things like that. Three of the things on his list was a hoverboard, which it might appear under his tree this year. And then he wanted a kid's dirt bike. He's 10, so he wanted a kid's dirt bike. And for the tumor to be taken away. Humanly, we know we can't remove cancer, or we do it for everybody. But my car group got together, and we have a member that has been renovating a kid's dirt bike with the intentions to gift it to a kid. And it's done. It's like weeks away from being finished. So we're going to gift it to Jesse for Christmas this year.
Awesome.
Nice.
Wow.
So now I know that they're still probably in need of some other things, and it's unlikely that people, necessarily might have the exact item. Is there a way we can share some information about where people can go to maybe donate money or time or stuff like that?
Yes. If you look up P&W Custom Coupes and Sedans on Facebook,
right,
the top post pinned on the top of our Facebook page is the Christmas list from Jesse. Right. And in that also has his siblings. He has, I think it's 4 siblings. And unfortunately, right after Jesse went into the hospital in the end of October, his dad ended up losing his job due to COVID issues. I don't know if it was business related or economy related or what. Right. Then their car got broken down, and now the car that they have that's been their mode of transportation is also having mechanical problems.
Oh boy.
So like the rains and pours. So I'm trying my best to help this family and try to at least give them some relaxing times.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, what we're going to do here, Thomas, we're going to link the story from the P&W Custom Coupes and Sedans page to our page. I'm also going to, I know that the group itself is a private group, but people can find
Yes.
it and perhaps they'll join and, be able to help in that particular way. I know that, the list is there. We'll see if I can get a screen capture and maybe I can copy that and put that on our page as well. So we'll try to get
For
you
sure.
some help on this particular process. Mostly, you know what, I want to thank you for getting in touch with us, to try to help in this
Definitely.
thing. It's one of the things that we try to do here on the show is to, be accessible to the people that listen as much as we
Yes.
possibly can.
Community is very important.
Yeah.
Well, and Thomas, you've been over the years, because you were one of our earliest people that we had on the show way back 3 years ago, and you've been very involved with letting people know that, hey, there's a need over here, or somebody's lost their life, and we need to come in and help their family out. You've seen a lot of tragedy within your small, not so small, but your network of people you've created with your Facebook page. So you have a good heart there, Thomas, and so we just want to say thank you for that. And folks, if you do, just go over to the Facebook, and what is it again? One more time.
P&W Custom Coupes and Sedans. I have one more thing to add at
Yes.
the end of this.
Yes.
On Saturday, December 12th, up at Marysville, there's on the car group page as well, there's a link about this. There's a member of our group, a couple of weeks ago, there was a boat for Tulalip Wildlife, I think it was, or police, that capsized. One of our members is actually one of those officers. And so they're doing a drive for the officer that was missing and still, as far as I know, has not been found.
Wow.
So and this is his favorite time of year, so they're doing a drive, decorate your car, drive along,
Nice.
show support.
Cool.
All right.
So
Well, that's great.
yeah.
Well, I will make note of the fact that the Facebook group, your group now is up to 1,600 members, which is pretty
Wow.
impressive.
Very nice.
1,600, and we've been around since 2016.
Yeah,
And
it's
we don't
pretty
care
amazing.
if you have a bone stock car and don't have any money to motivate or to modify it. It's just about coming out and helping the community.
Yep.
Very cool.
Exactly what groups like that are supposed to be about. Thomas, thank you. We really appreciate it. And again, we're going to post links up so that people can find the thing and support in any way they possibly can.
That's awesome.
You bet,
Soup.
Thomas. Thanks
All right,
so much
Thomas.
for being on. And
Yeah,
you
we
said it's
appreciate
coming up this week at Marysville, you said?
This Saturday.
Saturday. And where are they starting out?
I believe it's in Marysville. I'll send a post about it to Brady,
Oh, perfect.
and then he can share the details of it.
And then we'll
Cool.
post it on our website or Facebook. That'll
Yeah.
be great. Well, thanks for
Excellent.
coming on with us and letting everybody know. And, folks, if you have a heart for this, just jump on there and give a little bit to help out.
God bless, man.
Thank you.
You bet.
Take
Take
care,
care,
Thomas.
Thomas. Bye-bye.
You too.
Nice. Well, we try the best we can. I was actually kind of glad to hear from Thomas. I hadn't talked to him for a little while, what with the move and everything. But his group, they really do some amazing stuff. They were just talking about Facebook groups are kind of loose in a lot of cases,
Right.
but they actually have, in addition to just being an enthusiast group, they have people there who are dedicated to being the road guy in case somebody gets stuck on the road. There's a guy who's responsible for that. There's a contact point for people who do meets and greets and cruises and stuff. There's another guy who's responsible for that. They're very well organized.
Yes, they are.
I like the fact that, like he said, it doesn't matter what kind of a car you have. It's about the camaraderie and the fact that we're all car people. You can have something bone stock, or you can have a full bore custom. And I've been to a couple of their events in the north part of Seattle, and all of those guys are there. The guys with the Tri-5s and all the stuff, and the guy driving his Honda Accord.
Yeah,
it's-
I mean, and
it's
what's
the perfect
neat,
part of the hobby.
and what's really neat is the social media platforms have allowed a lot of people to build affinity groups, and then you get involved. And like you said, what's unique about it is Thomas and the other people are very, very active on there, and they always put out something. Hey, here's a need. Let you know. So we like to plug them, and we've had them on a couple times in the past. We've brought them on, and they're really big behind the Christmas cruise. I haven't heard anything about that, but that's where you again over on this side, people decorate their cars. They go out for a drive, and and so that's always been a very big thing that they've been involved with. Not sure if they're putting that on, or probably right now, forefront of what they're thinking about is helping this family out, and so we will be able to help out with that. And guys, what's so cool about the car club arena is people tend to look for things to tie events, turn rallies, and tie their cruises into, which is to raise funds, raise awareness. And so that's one thing about car people is they like to at least do a little bit of giving back to the community, don't they?
Every time we have a car show, we have a sponsored charity.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's actually
Rats
one of
for
the things.
Autism,
Sure.
Wounded Warrior.
Yeah.
Troops, support the troops. We used to have
Yep.
Pit of Angels on it with our show, and they'd always put gift packages and gift boxes together and send them over to the guys over in.
Well, there's our music, and
Well, hey, the Nathan Lipinski Weekly Trivia question is coming up next, and it's a good one. It's a good one this week. Don't go away. Put it in park. Stick around. Oh, man, this is Around the Wheel, and you know that the El Camino Man is in charge of the music at very least. This is where we talk about upcoming events. Of course, the Nathan Lipinski Weekly Automotive Trivia question is a big part of this segment, and I have got to hand it to Nathan himself because last week's question was kind of obscure, and he gave some really great answers. He was pounding down my Facebook Messenger page. The question was, something happened in 1914 that changed driving forever. What was it? And oh man, Nathan, he
paved roads.
He pounded a couple of things in there, but no, he did not get the answer right. Nobody got the answer right because I was too obscure. What happened in 1914 that changed driving forever? And just imagine without these, what driving would be like today. In 1914, the first electric traffic light was installed.
Yes.
That was the one. Before that, no stoplights, nothing. You drove wherever you wanted to go. So
I have a trivia question.
You do? Okay.
What was the color of the first stop signs?
Purple.
White.
I don't know. What color were they?
They were actually yellow for quite some time.
They were yellow. Caution, you must stop now.
And then they got changed over to red.
I'm not taking that seriously. It's only yellow.
And as a matter of fact, the first stoplights were gas powered.
Gas powered.
Yeah, they were over in Europe. I happen to have done another project back in 2012, and we did some history on red, and we were looking at whatever, and it turned out that the lights were actually gas powered, and sometimes people would get blown up when they were lighting.
I'm sure of that. Well, I'm glad that that's not happening anymore.
No.
So we didn't get a winner last time, but Nathan, thank you, buddy. You gave it a good shot. This week's question is actually kind of another one of those odd ones. We already know part of the answer of this. So in 1953, GM stylist Harley Earl came up with the very first Harley Earl designed Corvette. Of course, it went on to be, a massive success. But something else was introduced in 1953 and had a connection to Harley Earl. If you know what it is, you can email us at contact@horsepowechromeandrust.com. You can go to the Facebook page and toss a message in there or an answer right in the middle of the page. That'd be fine. You can throw a brick through the window, but please don't because it's a long throw from the northwest to Coeur d'Alene. But yeah, what else happened in 53? Harley Earl related that wasn't to the Corvette, but it was also pretty cool. You'll know. You'll get with that one.
Yep.
That's our trivia question for next week. And speaking of events which we normally talk about at this time, the Rathdrum Food Bank run, which was last weekend, we're getting a lot of video of that's on the page. We're also going to put up some stuff about Thomas Owens' event that they're doing. Well, their fundraiser that they're doing for the young lad in the Northwest. So look for a whole bunch of links on the page this coming next few days and this weekend.
And let me interrupt. I just want to say, if you have an event that's going on in your neck of the woods, get with us. Go to contact us at just go to Horsepower Chrome and Rust and use the .com. Use the contact page and let us know. We will post it. We'll let everybody know. Sure. And speaking of events, there is a big event that took place the one and only biggest event in the entire motoring world in the United States that went forward regardless of the martial law, which was Sturgis. And there was well over 400,000 people. Nobody had any problem. Nobody had a mask, nothing. It was just normal business. Yeah. Well, they've got it set up for 2021 all over again. So
yes, they do.
If I had the time and I had a bike, I'd go out there just to be part of that group because I love it.
You can go whether you have a bike.
Yes,
or
you
not.
can. You can.
It's actually just be prepared that there's a lot of bikers there, but go. It's
Buffalo
huge,
Chip had 40,000 people show up.
Yeah, it's a huge circus and a lot of fun, and everybody's on their best behavior.
Yep.
It's really a great event, no matter what. Hey, listen, if you want to make sure that you're with us for next week, be sure to grab one of the places that we broadcast. We reach over 1 million car enthusiasts every week, and we're still in the top 10 of all the automotive podcasts on Podomatic. We thank you for that. We had a great time chatting with Brent Lundquist from the North Idaho Rat Rods and Customs page, and I want to thank Thomas Owens again from the Pacific Northwest Sedans. We'll be back next week. Do not change the channel.